Hi Chesterbrook Academy. My name is Mrs. DeFeo and I'm here to read you chapters 23, 24, and 25. I will begin on page 114 if you'd like to follow along. Kyle flipped over his lemon-scented Super Duper bonus card and read what was written on the other side. You will find the ultimate version of this board game on the second floor balcony circling the rotunda. Huh? Said Akemi. What's that mean? I don't know. Let's roll out the paper and see. Akemi and Sierra helped Kyle anchor the edges of the scroll on the tiled floor. Okay, said Kyle. It looks like the early sketch for a board game. See the circle in the center of the other circle? That's probably where you place the spinner. You move the pieces around the 10 rooms. He stopped. Wait a second. What? Said Akemi. Do you recognize the game? Asked Sierra. Yep, said Kyle. I played it this week with my brother Curtis. It's Mr. Lemoncello's bewilderingly baffling bibliomania. It takes place in the make-believe library. What about finding the ultimate version up on the second floor balcony? Asked Sierra. Kyle grinned. You'll see. Coming up from the basement, Kyle saw Andrew Peckelman in the middle of the rotunda reading room, opening a long metal box sitting on the top of the center desk. The holographic image of Mrs. Tobin was there, smiling patiently as Peckelman pulled some kind of magazine out of the box. Miguel was also near the librarian's desk, apparently waiting his turn for a consultation. That's the box we saw the robot pluck off the shelf, whispered Akemi. Kyle nodded. He motioned for the others to follow and slipped around the circumference of the rotunda. Akemi and Sierra slunk after him. In the shadows on the far side of the room, they saw Haley Daly heading for the staircase they'd just come up, steps that would take her back to the basement. Kyle wondered if she'd found something else to crawl through. If so, he hoped it was bigger than a mailbox. Is this the real magazine? He heard Peckelman shout at the hologram. Yes, Andrew. This concludes your library consultation. Next. How may I help you, Miguel? Not so fast, snapped Andrew. I'm not done. Your consultation just concluded, said Miguel. Says who? The librarian. Miguel, said the hologram of Mrs. Tobin, what is your question? Sorry, bro, I told you. She's just like Mrs. Younghans at school, snapped Peckelman. All the librarians like you better than me. Yo, ease up. You'll see, Mrs. Tobin. You'll all see. I'm going to beat Miguel Fernandez big time. And when I win, I'm going to tell Mr. Lemoncello to fire you. She's a hologram, said Miguel with a laugh. You can't fire somebody who doesn't actually exist. Then I'll tell Lemoncello to pull her plug. Peckelman grabbed his magazine and stormed out of the rotunda into the lobby. I guess Andrew's planning on doing something with the front door, Kyle whispered to Akemi. Well, that's totally dumb. They already told us the way out isn't the way we came in. Maybe Andrew doesn't think Dr. Zinchenko was telling us the truth, suggested Sierra. Come on, said Kyle, leading his team through the closest staircase up to the second floor. Glancing over his shoulder, he watched Miguel place a slip of paper on the table in front of the semi-translucent librarian. This item has been temporarily removed from the stacks, Miguel, said Mrs. Tobin. You will find it in the display case next to the original Winkle and Grimble scale model. Let me give you that location. There was a grinding sound, like when the movie tickets shoot up through the slot at the box office. Miguel snatched the small square of paper that popped up from the librarian's desk and spun around. He froze the instant he saw Kyle, Akemi, and Sierra sneaking around the room behind him. Chapter 24 begins on page 118. Hey, said Miguel, hiding the tiny square of paper behind his back. Yo, said Kyle. What's up? Nothing. Just, working on the puzzle. Yeah, us too. Okay. Well, later. Later. Both boys thumped their fists on their chests like baseball players do. Miguel turned and ran for a staircase winding up to the second floor. Come on, you guys, said Kyle as he took off running for a different set of steps. When Kyle, Akemi, and Sierra made it up to the balcony, they watched Miguel run up to the third floor. As soon as he disappeared into the room up there, Kyle unrolled the game sketch. Look at the drawing, then look down at the floor, said Kyle. They're the same, said Sierra. Exactly. A circular room with a round desk at the center of that circle. Awesome, said Akemi. And there are 10 doors ringed around the balcony up here on the second floor, just like on the game board. Kyle tapped the rendering of the spinner in the right-hand corner of the game plans. So see how the spinner is divided into 10 different colored sections, numbered 0 to 9? It looks like the Wonder Dome, said Akemi, when it's not doing its kaleidoscope thing or running a video that makes you think the building is hang gliding across Alaska, which totally made me airsick. Well, in the game, you have to go into all the 10 Dewey Decimal book rooms and answer a trivia question about a book. If you answer correctly, you slip a book into your bookshelf and move on to another part of the library. When you have 10 books, one from each room, it's basically a race to see who can exit the library first. Okay, said Akemi, sounding pumped. This is good. This is major. Except one thing's missing, said Kyle. What? Asked Sierra. Mr. Lemoncello always works a clever backdoor shortcut into his games. For instance, in Family Frenzy, you can use the coal chute to slide into the millionaire's mansion at the end, said Akemi. Exactly. And in that castle game, Charles snuck out through the sewers. Anyway, when my brother Curtis beat me at Bibliomania, you lost? Akemi acted surprised. It happens, occasionally, but only because Curtis used the shortcut. Kyle tapped a black square on the game diagram. It took him straight out to the street. He beat me by one spin of the spinner. I don't see any black squares in the floor of our rotunda, said Akemi. Maybe, said Sierra, this is for this new game. Mr. Lemoncello put the secret square someplace besides the main room. Kyle nodded. And maybe to win this new game, we have to play the old one. You're a genius, said Akemi. No, my brother Curtis is the genius. I just like to play games. So, do libraries even have board games? Sure, said Sierra. The library in my dad's town has them. Which department? Asked Akemi, pulling out her floor plan. Young adult. Akemi tapped her map. 3rd floor, stairs over there. Let's go, said Kyle. But before they could take off, they heard Mr. Lemoncello's voice echoing in the rotunda. Are you ready for your extreme challenge, Bridget? Kyle and his teammates peered over the ledge of the balcony. Bridget Wadge was alone in the front of the librarian's desk, staring up at the ceiling. Yes, sir, she said. Are you sure? Mr. Lemoncello's voice boomed out of the hidden speakers. You still have 22 hours to find the exit. I want to go for it now, sir. Get a jump on everybody else. Very well. Dr. Zinchenko, reset the statues. The 10 holographic statues in their recessed nooks flickered off, leaving black and empty spaces. This extreme challenge is based on the classic Game of Authors card game, said Mr. Lemoncello. Here are the authors in your deck. Magically, new holographic statues appeared as Mr. Lemoncello rattled off the authors' names. Charles Dickens, Raymond Chandler, Edgar Allan Poe, Agatha Christie, Patricia Highsmith, Mario Puzo, Frederick Forsyth, John le Carre, Dashiell Hammett, and Fyodor Dostoevsky. He wrote Crime and Punishment, said Bridget excitedly. Indeed he did. In fact, said Bridget, all those authors wrote crime novels. Correct again. However, that's the easy part. Dr. Z? How do we make this author's game ridiculously difficult enough to qualify as an extreme challenge? Simple, the librarian's voice echoed under the dome. You will have 2 minutes, Bridget, to name 4 books written by each of our authors. Kyle gulped. That's impossible, he whispered. Not really, said Sierra. She was about to start rattling off titles when Mr. Lemoncello said, Go! The sound of the ticking clock reverberated around the room. Okay, said Bridget, down on the main floor. Agatha Christie, Murder on the Orient Express, 10 Little Indians, Death on the Nile, The Mousetrap. Somewhere a bell dinged and the British lady in the sensible shoes disappeared. Poe, The Murders in the Rue Morgue, The Mask of the Red Death, The Purloined Letter, The Cask of Amontillado. Another ding. Another statue vanished. Bridget kept going. Man, whispered Kyle. What grade is she in? College? 7th, said Akemi, just like us. Bridget Wadge kept tearing through the authors. The bell kept dinging, but the clock kept ticking too. 10 seconds, said Mr. Lemoncello. Bridget had saved the worst for last. Fyodor Dostoevsky, Crime and Punishment, Crime and Punishment, the one about the brothers, and then she stalled. She'd run out of gas. A buzzer sounded. "I'm sorry, Bridget," said Dr. Zinchenko, "but as we advised you, the extreme challenges are extremely difficult. You will be going home with lovely parting gifts. Kindly hand your library card to Clarence and thank you for playing Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's library." "That settles it," muttered Kyle. "I am never ever asking for one of those extreme challenge dealios." "Me either," said Akemi. "I might," said Sierra. "Maybe." And then she showed Kyle and Akemi the rumpled sheet of paper where she had written down 5 book titles for all 10 authors. Chapter 25 begins on page 124. Akemi grabbed the door handle to the young adult room. "It's locked." "Here," said Sierra. "Use my library card." "Huh," said Akemi. "Your books on the back are different too." "I think they all are. I got the Egypt game and the Weston game." 2 books about games," said Kyle. "Sweet." Akemi slipped Sierra's card into a reader slot above the doorknob. The door clicked. Kyle pushed it open. The walls of the young adult room were painted purple and yellow. There were swirly zebra print rugs on the floor and a lumpy cluster of beanbag chairs. A couple of sofas were designed to look like Scrabble trays with letter square pillows. Akemi nudged Kyle in the ribs. "Check it out." In the far corner stood a carnival ticket booth with a mechanical dummy seated inside. A Fun and Games banner hung off the booth's striped roof. The dummy inside the glass booth, he looked like Mr. Lemoncello. He wasn't wearing a turban, but the Mr. Lemoncello mannequin reminded Kyle of the Zoltar Speaks fortune teller booths he'd seen in video game arcades. "That's not really him, is it?" said Akemi, who was right behind Kyle. "No, it's a mechanical doll." The frozen automation was dressed in a black top hat and a bright red ringmaster jacket. Since the booth had the Fun and Games banner, Kyle figured you might have to talk to the dummy to get a game. "Hello," he said. "We'd like to play a board game." Bells rang, whistles whistled, and chaser lights blinked. The mechanical Mr. Lemoncello jostled to life. "If you want a game, just say its name." The life-size puppet's blocky jaw flapped open and shut, almost in sync with the words. "Do you have Mr. Lemoncello's bewilderingly baffling bibliomania? Did Joey Pigza lose control? Was Ella enchanted? Huh?" "Just say yes," suggested Sierra. "Yes," said Kyle. "Well, great Gilly Hopkins," said the Lemoncello dummy. "Here you go." Kyle heard some mechanical noises and some whirring. Then, with a clunk, a wide slot popped open in the front of the booth and a game box slid out. "Enjoy," said the dummy. "And remember, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. So be sure to read the instructions so you'll know how to play the game." Kyle took the box to a table. "Okay," he said, raising the lid. "Let's set it up," and there was a beep, and the door opened. "Where is he?" Andrew Peckelman barged into the room, waving his antique magazine, something called Popular Science Monthly. "Who are you looking for?" said Kyle. "Mr. Lemoncello. I heard him. Is he in here?" Kyle pointed toward the frozen Lemoncello doll sitting in the Carney booth. "It's a dummy." Peckelman whipped his head around from side to side. "Is there a camera in here?" "Right over the door." Peckelman spun around to face it. Kyle, Akemi, and Sierra formed a human shield to hide their bibliomania box. I want to use a second lifeline," Peckelman shouted at the camera. "I want to talk to an expert." "Very well," said a calm voice Kyle immediately recognized as belonging to Dr. Zinchenko. "With whom do you wish to speak?" "The guy who wrote the stupid magazine article about cracking open bank vaults in the 1930s. "I'm afraid we cannot arrange that for you, Andrew." "Why not?" "The guy's a moron. He didn't tell me anything about how to open the front door, which is what my Google search said this magazine would do." "We told you the way out isn't the way in." "That was just a red herring, a trick to throw us off course." "No, Andrew, it was not." "What is the title of the article?" "Newest Bank Vaults Defy the Cracksman." "Ah, well, that should have been a hint." Apparently, the reporter concluded that thieves could not break open the vault doors. When doing internet research, it is important to, let me talk to the stupid idiot. "I am sorry, that magazine was published in 1936. The reporter is dead." "Well then, I want to talk to Mr. Lemoncello." "Excuse me?" "I want to talk to Mr. Lemoncello." This is highly irregular, and so's this game. You people have it rigged, so Miguel Fernandez will win. I know you do. That's why Mr. Lemoncello is afraid to talk to me. Kyle heard the carnival booth dummy clatter back to life. Hello, Andrew. How may I help you? This Lemoncello didn't sound pre-recorded. Apparently, the real deal was using the dummy to do his talking. Your library stinks, shouted Peckelman. Oh dear. Have you boys been playing that castle sewer game again? No, but this stupid article should have given me the stupid answer, but the stupid writer didn't write what he should have written. I see. And can you rephrase that in the form of a question? How many can I ask you? Just one, and then we're done. Okay, you're the expert on this stupid new library game, so where's your favorite contestant? Where's Miguel? Is that your final question? Yes. Assuming our video monitors are correct, Mr. Fernandez is on the other side of the 3rd floor, doing research in the Art and Artifacts room. Thanks. Andrew bolted out the door. The Lemoncello puppet bucked and dropped and drooped into its off mode. Kyle sprang up from the table. Come on, he said to Akemi and Sierra. Akemi sighed. Now where are we going? To make sure Peckelman doesn't do anything stupid that gets Miguel kicked out of the game. And why would we do that? Because Miguel's our friend. Akemi glanced at her floor plan. The Art and Artifacts room is on the other side of the circle. Sierra, stay here and guard the game box. Come on, Akemi. Kyle and Akemi looped around the 3rd floor balcony to the other side. Kyle glanced at his watch. It was almost 3 p.m. They really needed to start focusing on the game, and not all this other monkey junk. As they neared the Art and Artifacts room, there was a shout and the door flew open. Andrew Peckelman came running out. Behind him were a woman with the head and the tail of a lioness and a pharaoh in a cobra headpiece. The pharaoh stopped. May onions grow in your earwax, and a series of holographic hieroglyphics danced across the air. Andrew Peckelman raced to a staircase, grabbed both handrails, and hurried down to the 2nd floor. The Egyptians vanished. Kyle and Akemi entered the Art and Artifacts room and found Miguel seated at a desk with what looked like blueprints. You okay? Asked Kyle. Yeah, man, I'm fine. Thanks. Those guys chasing Andrew, where'd they come from? Holograms from the giant Lego Sphinx and Pyramid exhibit. So why'd they turn on Andrew? Asked Akemi. I don't know. One minute he's yelling at me, the next the pharaoh and the schmickmet are yelling at him. Sekhu? Said Kyle. Sekhmet, said Akemi, the Egyptian lion goddess and warrior. Haven't you read The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan? It's on my list, said Kyle. Or it would be. He definitely needed to start a reading list soon so he could catch up with everybody else. I bet the security guards in the control room fired up the Egyptian holograms when they saw Andrew going berserk in there, said Akemi. Good, said Miguel. A library is supposed to be a place for peaceful contemplation. That was when Sierra Russell rushed into the room. You guys, right after you left, Mr. Lemoncello, the dummy, spit out a bonus card.